Hey everyone, Megan here with Reach Right. We are bringing you another episode to discuss Google Grant Keyword Masterclass. It's really important to know and understand the type of keywords that you're going to add into your account so that you get the best advertising experience for your church or ministry. So we're going to talk today about keywords that convert. So follow me and let's take a peek. First things first, we want to talk about landing pages. The landing page is the place or the page on your website that your ad is going to be sent to. So when we talk about landing page experience, Google puts that first thing. It wants to make sure that when people land on your website page, that they're going to get relevant content. Are they going to find what they were looking for, or are they going to get there and be completely lost and bounce out of there right away? So your website pages are really important for Google to also figure out, what is this website talking about? The content that you have on that web page helps Google and search engines read that text to then help them match up potential search traffic. That's how we rank organically. That's how Google gets websites in those results. We want to start with making sure our landing page is great. But when we're doing keyword research, your landing page is going to come into play because that's also going to help us figure out, what are we trying to target? If somebody is searching for our product or our business, we have to make sure that we say certain things on those pages so that Google kind of puts two and two together. There are three types of keywords when it comes to adding those into your Grant account or your Google Ads account. There are broad match keywords, phrase match keywords, and exact match keywords. With phrase match keywords, they're a little more loose. You're kind of just saying, take this keyword and anything that's relevant to that can be a match for my ad. With broad match keywords, those are going to be more broad. Ads can show with anything relevant to that keyword phrase or keyword string. Whereas with a phrase match, we're going to limit that a little bit more because we're saying we want it to include things within this phrase that we're saying. And then with exact match keywords, we're saying don't stray from exactly what I typed in. It's got to include these words. For example, this is actually coming from the google.com support page. This gives us a really good look at what Google is talking about as far as keywords. How do I choose the keywords that I want to put into my account? So for instance, for broad match, we can be saying that we have ads we're running for home decor, but we could also get people to our website by doing cream colored leather sectionals. So we can be as specific or as loose as we want, but it's not going to give us as good of a match because we're kind of being a little more fluid. With phrase match, we're kind of saying, hey, we can do cheap furniture sales, living room furniture ideas. What's the best place to buy a bedroom dresser? All three of those would get our ad to show because we're talking about a phrase. And then exact match is we are looking for a furniture store, home furniture shop. So kind of gives us some good examples there as far as different types of keywords that we have the option to use. And in some cases, we want to be using broad match because Google does do a pretty good job of trying to, once again, deliver our ad to the right audience with our landing page. But at some points, we also might want to be with certain ads, we might want to be pretty strict and say, no, we don't really want to stray from these phrases, so we're going to use exact match. The longer the keyword strands we use, the better chance we also have to get better targeting. You can use keyword strands, meaning just longer phrases. We can do that with broad match, and we're going to dive into an account really quick so I can walk you through that. When we do organize a campaign, we are talking about a campaign, which is the account name pretty much, and we have different ad groups. So the reason also for keyword research is because we are wanting to target different things, different areas of a website potentially, or different topics. So the ad groups become the way that you organize things within the account. So you'll see here, we have ad groups for kids, food pantry, events, prayer, and baptism. All of those obviously would have their own grouping of keywords so that we send traffic to that targeted area to the correct landing page. So the food pantry ads, those keywords that are triggered are sent directly to that help page, whereas we wouldn't want them just jumbled up and added to other landing pages. So it's going to be pretty important for you to organize your account in the way that makes sense to you, what landing pages you want to send people to, and then figuring out with that landing page and that content, where do my keywords come from and what keywords we want to use. That's where you'll use the tools that we're talking about as far as the keyword planner and just having a good idea on landing page content, where that comes back to, this is why we chose these specific keywords. This is the search intent that we want to target. So if I'm getting into a new account or an account that we're just adding ads to, we're gonna pop in here. Now, if you need to know how to set up an ads account, if you're just getting started in this process, check out my previous video that I did where I actually will walk through how to initially set up your Google Grant account with your first campaign and initial ad groups. We're gonna go into this account. Now this is a church account. I'm going to just go into our campaign that's already been created, and I'm making a brand new ad group. So this landing page, it's kind of combining a couple things. They've got benevolence request, but then we're talking about their food pantry. Now we wanna run ads for this food pantry for this client. So obviously we'd be using keywords, food pantry, free food, food in my area. But if we want to really get more specific, we want to read the content of the landing page first, make sure we understand what we are advertising for. We're going to pop into this ad group and we are going to title this. Now, right away, it's going to ask you for a URL. Google can kind of scan it and give you some ideas on their own. So let's just kind of do that and see what it comes up with. Sometimes I do like to give Google a chance to help me out when I can, but then sometimes it is pretty generic and some of these terms are not going to be valid for me. So it actually gave us quite a handful, but you'll see here that we are not just doing single keywords. Number one, they aren't allowed in your Google Grant account, but number two, they're not gonna be great for your keyword matching. So just like this, food bank drop off near me, donate canned food near me. Now on this website, they're talking about a food pantry as far as I am in need and I am looking for food in my area. Not necessarily you're donating to the food pantry, although I'm sure they would take both. All right, so we know that this food pantry does not deliver, so obviously we don't want to do that. We're not donating canned food near me. We're not asking for food. Food pantry and food bank, while these are really broad, they would still be relevant. So I might just change these to add food pantry near me. Again, because we are using broad match with this campaign or with this ad group, we are gonna see that these are gonna be a little more generic if we're just saying food pantry near me. But we've already done geo-targeting with this ad group, so we already know this is not gonna go all over the place. This is literally going in the radius that they need to be advertising for. So the broad match keywords on some of these are actually gonna be beneficial for us. So I'm gonna roll with this handful that we have so far. So I'm gonna save and continue. The other thing we wanna look at is the keyword planner. This is gonna be under tools, planning, keyword planner. Pop into here and we are going to discover new keywords. We can either start with keywords that we put in here, which I'll do in a second, or we can start with the website. You can put your entire website here. I am only gonna do this landing page because this is the one we were looking at. So I'm gonna say get results and it's doing a scan. Let's see what it finds. All right, so what's gonna be important to look at here is the keyword by relevance. We're looking at average monthly searches. We obviously don't wanna pick keywords that have no traffic already by Google's history. So we wanna pick words that are going to give us some good traffic. We also wanna look at the competition level. We don't wanna be picking keywords that have really high competition because we're gonna struggle to show ads for that. Let's go over here. This is the, like could be your average CPC. This is for low range of the top of page bid, 96 cents, and the high range is $6.98. So obviously because we're using a grant, we're not gonna be charged for these keywords, but this does give us a good clue of, will these be good keywords or not? So for this page, we're obviously gonna be putting in food pantry, food bank, local food bank. This is the name of they're not in Austin, but they are right in the greater Austin area. So because we're talking about right in their area, we're gonna be picking that. You'll see that obviously the average search volume when you target an area or get a little more specific, of course, it's going down. That's fine. Now, Texas Food Bank, I'm not going to choose because we're not going to be choosing the entire state to run this food bank page. We obviously want to be more specific due to their location. Now, if someone typed in Texas Food Bank, they could still see our ad, even though we're not advertising to the entire state. We're literally only advertising within a 40-mile radius around this specific church. Free food is a little too generic. I'm not going to pick that one. Food bank donations, as we talked about, we're not accepting donations, we are donating. So I'm not going to do that either. Free groceries. Now, this does have medium competition. I am going to go ahead and add that just because the search volume isn't as high as I thought it would be. And I do think it might be a keyword just for people that type in. Now, keep in mind when people are doing their own Google searches, we have to kind of think how they are going to type in to Google their search. Some people are going to be very specific, like we saw when we looked at keyword types. Somebody might literally type in brown leather sofa. Somebody else might type in furniture store. So if we keep in mind like how different people use Google, we do want to make sure that we're trying to capture all of those areas in the keyword and not being just really specific, because we might miss out on some of those target audiences. The more specific that you are in your keyword string, the more results you're going to get. Same exact thing on the opposite side. The more keywords you put into your ads account and go into that specific ad, the better chance you're gonna get for more traffic. And then if we kind of go back and see, hey, we got a lot of generic traffic, or we didn't get any conversions from these keywords or this specific ad, we can always take some of those really high performing keywords out that just weren't the quality that we wanted. All right, so I've chosen all of the keywords that we're gonna start with in this ad group. So now I'm just gonna go add that to the ad. So we're just gonna say add to account, select the ad group. There's our campaign. Here's our ad group. We're using broad match, and we're just gonna pop those in there. Easy peasy. So 15 keywords were added to our campaign. I hope this was helpful and informative. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel. We have other videos coming out all the time for content that could be relevant to you and super helpful for your church.